Today we are going to review a figure, Joestar. Sorry about that. I just wanted to prove a point. Welcome, everyone, to my first entry of On the Shelf. This is going to be a series where I take a look at and review, well, what's on the shelf. Today we're going to be looking at Johnny Joestar from the Super Action statue line made by Medicos. I've had this figure for almost a year now. I think this is the right time to give an honest and critical opinion about it. No offense to people who do unboxing stuff, but I feel like you don't get the true, honest experience, since maybe some of the excitement you feel around opening a new figure hasn't really washed away yet. But don't worry about that. Every single figure that I will be reviewing is one that I have owned for a little bit of time, so that I can give a more accurate opinion. My aim by the end of this video is that regardless if you're convinced to buy or not to buy this figure, you are still somehow convinced. Just a little heads up though, I am going to be referencing stuff that happens in the story throughout this video, so if you haven't seen, if you haven't read Steel Ball Run, then there's your warning. Let's just get the general information out of the way. This guy stands at the height of 150 millimeters. That equates to about 5.85 inches if you're American, and 15 centimeters if you're anyone else. This figure got a limited release during Wonderfest 2018. This was around February, I think. But it had a standard release later that year in September. Interestingly enough, he actually released alongside Funny Valentine, but that's a topic for another time. He originally retailed for 7.4k yen. That price has since skyrocketed in the aftermarket. This figure's color scheme is likely inspired by Volume 10 of Steel Ball Run, where he is sporting the white beanie and hoodie, blue stars and stripes, and the gold horseshoe, blue eyes, and pink lips. But it doesn't seem to have the green stitched horse or brown hair, or well, brownish hair. This leads me to believe that this figure was also cross-inspired by Volume 22, where he actually does have blonde hair and does have a green stitched horse. Like most Super Action statue figures, Johnny also comes with a bunch of hands. The first pair just being the normal regular old fists, the second pair being a pair of pointing hands with these strange little beetle lookalike thingies on them. These are the things that manifest on the back of his hands when he uses Act 1. The third pair of hands is just an open hand along with a pointing hand, this time without the beetle. I assume you're supposed to either hover or hold the shooting hand with this one, but you can probably just wave or something with it. Finally, the last pair of hands are flat hands. They each have this little star thing that are present in the back of each hand. This is what manifests on Johnny's hand when he uses Act 2. But it could also just be a reference to the third Ultra Jump issue from 2007. Johnny also comes with an extra quote-unquote yelling head. I know a lot of people have different opinions on the way Medicos makes their yelling heads, but I actually do like this one a lot. It has a little bit more expression than most of them, and it doesn't just look like he's yawning, might I add. It also looks like that one panel from chapter 48 where he is indeed yelling. Johnny also comes with a set of 3 nail bullets. These nail bullets are detachable from one another, but only the longest one can be placed on a finger. It's a pretty nice idea to have the lineup so that you can create some sort of motion, but when I use these, I only use one at a time. All Super Action statue figures, except for D4C, have peg joints. This means you can easily take the head off and slide it back in whenever you want to switch. Currently, Johnny has the shortest hair of the Steel Ball Run figure lineup, but even he has a hard time trying to look all the way up. You'll have more success trying to look down. I gotta say though that this is not bad articulation, but it is nowhere near the excellence of Figma's faceplate solution. But it's nowhere near a Black Series Han Solo. Something interesting I found out about this figure through Johnny's second is that his neck is actually supposed to be able to move a little. I guess my copy was just frozen still because I don't think I can get it moving without heating it up a little. Plastic issues like these are very easy to fix if you just waterboard the figure in hot water or use a hairdryer. It is a complaint I have to bring up nonetheless. Johnny's torso is a ball joint so he can move pretty smoothly. The same can be said for his waist area. Pretty sure you can do a 360, but I don't want to try that. Johnny's legs are also pretty nice. He can even go in a split if you want him to. You can kick his leg all the way to the front, moderately to the back. All around good articulation for someone who is expected to sit around on the ground a lot for obvious reasons. Johnny has double hinge knees, which means he can have his calves touch his thighs really easily. Finally, his feet are also pretty good. He can't seem to get his foot to stretch all the way down in a line or all the way up, but if you balance him well enough, these feet can make it so that he can stand on his own. I'm also a big fan of the toe tips thingies, although I have seen figures that sell without these toe tips, so maybe they fall off a lot easier than I thought they would. Johnny's arm articulation is pretty good. You can move it all the way around, but you can't really get him to point straight up because of the shoulder piece that is in the way. I'm happy that the shoulder piece is there because it visually looks a lot better, but it does feel a little bit limiting. And it's not like my shoulder piece was perfectly placed either, but I do think that's because of the arms. You see, I'm pretty sure that the tip of the arm is supposed to be aligned with the edge of the shoulder piece. To put it short, it's supposed to look a little bit more like Johnny Second. It doesn't bother me as much, and I am unsure if this is an issue with every single Johnny, but most of them have this issue. I am very happy that the elbows are also double hinged so that he can do proper curls. Johnny's hands also work like the head does, but a lot better this time around. This is because there's nothing really limiting the movement of the hand, as much as the head that has the hoodie and the feather. If you were lucky enough to get your hands on a Johnny from WonderFest, you would get his bonuses. This was a small package that contained Tusk Act 1 and a dialogue plate. The text plate has the words Movere Cruz written in katakana and Latin. These are the words that the Guardian of the Left Arm whispered to Johnny when he attains this corpse part. Tusk is really small, like super small. Just look at how small he looks in the palm of my hand. To my surprise, he actually does have articulation. Very simple though, but still good enough. You can move his arms around a little bit, and you can slightly rotate his head and tilt it. It also has an extension peg that you can easily plug to Johnny's back. It does look a little clunky from the back, but it looks really nice from the front. Can't even see the little peg almost. If you want to, you can also use the text plate the same way. But that's all I think I have to say about the figure itself, honestly, so I'll just throw in some opinions here and there. By far, this is still my favorite figure, even after almost a year has passed. I just think there's something so nice about the way it looks and just how easy it is to play with. I think the colors look really great. The pink flows very well in with the rest of the other colors, and I do like the addition of green. But my biggest praise when it comes to the color scheme has to be the hairstyle. I don't actually think that the blonde hair color looks as good on Johnny in stuff like fan art or even in the promo art, but the hair kind of turned grayish somehow, a little bit silverish, maybe platinum blonde, so that when you put it in darker areas, the hair actually looks quite dark. To me, that's a big bonus. If I had it my way, I definitely would have gone for the browner hairstyle, but I think what they ended up with was good regardless. Now, like I said earlier, this figure has completely skyrocketed in the aftermarket. I think you're lucky if you find yourself an ad that goes for 20,000 to 25,000 yen, because in recent times I've seen him go all the way up to 30,000. Some ads have even sold for 40,000, and some of these don't even have Tusk included. So, in all honesty, this figure is great, this figure is amazing, but if you don't care about Tusk and you're just looking to have Johnny by himself, do not buy this at a high price. It is eventually going to re-release, just be patient. Maybe the release of the hardbook covers is going to be enough to warrant a re-release. Maybe we'll get an announcement for a re-release this year. The fact that Johnny Second released quite recently worries me, but I'm telling you, unless you love this character and you would sell your kidney for this character, don't buy it just yet. Just not yet. Anyways, with that, I'll be placing this little guy on top of his horse again and leaving him back on the shelf. Thank you so much for watching this video, and to my loyal 27 subscribers,
way to go, guys! Let's shoot for 40!
And as always, Andog, ser de Boteva.